work that we're going to be undertaking to identify the essential life support areas. The idea here is to just give you some overview as to how the information that is going to come from the policy hackathon and data hackathon is going to be used to identify these areas. So first, our overall task is to identify essential life support areas at the national level, which if protected, managed, and restored, will support the nature-based commitments to biodiversity, climate change, and human well-being. So you can see there are a number of important aspects we're working towards here. We're working to consider protection, management, and restoration across the country, as well as objectives, commitments for biodiversity, climate change, and human well-being. As we work towards this, we're considering 9 basic design criteria for these areas and our process to identify them. The first is that the process should directly support national policy commitments. And that's why the policy hackathon is the first part of the work. It's the critical step that guides everything else. As we identify the essential life support areas, we need to know what policy commitments have been made in the country, how can we find data and use that data to best support those policy commitments. So this is where we work to design this for the national context and national policy. The next design criteria is that we need to be considering multiple actions across the broader land base. So we're not only looking at protected areas, which are a very important form of managing natural ecosystems for multiple benefits, but we're also considering sustainable management. This could be sustainable agriculture, sustainable forestry, and we're also considering restoration. This could be forest restoration or reforestation or restoration of other ecosystems. And I should also mention when we consider protection, we're not only talking about government protected areas, we're also considering other effective conservation measures. And these measures can vary in different places. Also protected areas, these are not only strict protected areas, but also protected areas which are managed for multiple benefits, maybe some level of resource extraction or ecotourism, some forms of human use, which still promote or allow the natural ecosystem values to be maintained in these areas. The third design criteria is that we will be using the tools and the concepts of systematic conservation planning. Systematic conservation planning is a process that uses spatial data to meet management objectives in efficient ways that promote complementarity across objectives. So this way we make best use of the spatial data as we work towards multiple conservation or land management objectives while considering the efficiency of reaching those policy commitments. The fourth design criteria is that all of our work is spatially explicit. We're looking at managing